Okay, so this is the little cockpit interior. I lost part of my footage, I apologize, but this basically was cut out of the plan and folded. It has to be folded in kind of a complicated way, but you fold it all together, and now what I'm trying to do is get the rear piece connected. It connects with a couple of tabs, so it folds over like an envelope, and so I've put glue on those tabs, and I'm trying to squish them down and press against a flat surface in order to get everything glued together. And you can see that forms sort of a rear bulkhead almost. What was missing in the other video was there's a little piece of plastic that's like you can see it's a straight rod that goes across. It's a big U-shaped piece and some rudder pedals. There I'm gluing on the front end, which is just butt joint, and you can see it's sort of like an alligator, or it's folded almost like a fan. There's a part that goes up that's slanted, and these things are all creased, and then it goes out straight, and then it goes out again, and these correspond to cross members that would have been in the interior that are printed on the paper itself. And so, you know, when you see this and you put it together, it makes sense. It's just that it's rather complicated. And there it is together. Now, the weird part of this is how all these formers go on. Now, those tabs on the front are folded out, and that's because you can see white parts on that front bulkhead. That's where they're supposed to go. I'm just trying to show you that ultimately that's going to be the front, and the far right piece there, where that's gray, and that's going to be the back. What I'm doing here is putting glue down on a little seat support that was in the model, and then a little rear part of the seat, so it glues in. The seat is cut out really nicely. I put some brown marker on the edge. I cut out holes, lightning holes that were printed on, and those are just on there, or they were made by sticking my little pointy object, my little skewer through. But there's the front end, and the weird part is these other pieces have to go in. They have holes cut out. The ones that said W, well, I cut those W's out, and they slide over. You can see them; they're all open holes. They slide over this piece, and this is what's strange. Never had this done before, so I decided to put on the rear part first. So that gray piece, you don't cut that out of that bulkhead with the headrest. You just glue that directly on, and you can see that it fits where it's supposed to fit very well. Really no issues. Put some glue on there. Again, less is more. And then basically stick this down and make sure that it is even. And what's weird about this kind of construction is usually you build things, you put formers, the formers are made, and you skin them with the paper, and then you keep going piece by piece by piece. In this case, you're putting all these formers over this open piece, and it's hard to keep things straight. It's kind of odd. But you can see there's two pieces that have a very large opening, and those go on first. And they slide on, and you gotta be kind of careful. And they slide on that little upper step. You can see I just gingerly am trying to slide it on there, making sure it just gets clipped in there, and I'm sort of test fitting it at this point. I've test fitted it 100 million times already, but it sucks right up there, and you want to make sure it's vertical. Then you add your glue where you know it's going to touch, and then you go ahead and ram it home and stick it on there. And really, you just want to make sure it's as even as possible. I suspect it's kind of hard to know where it's supposed to stick, but on that bottom piece where my thumb is, there's a little flat piece, about 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch long, maybe 1/16 of an inch, maybe, because two of those 1/32 formers go right over it. So there's the second piece. The other weird part is the plans are all misnumbered and doesn't show you which bulkhead goes where. So I'm putting these in where I think they should go in terms of which one goes next. But these two have the large opening, so they can only fit up there. The other two have the smaller rectangular opening, and they fit in the front past that little diagonal. So again, you fit this around, you add glue, and you go ahead and put it in. So I've put glue on the edge of the paper and also along all the parts of the balsa. And then I'm making sure that all the little pieces of paper are clipped into either edge, just making sure everything's going to be nice and dry. When you put it together, you'll see where there's little parts where these bulkheads match up quite nice with what would have been interior cross pieces. And now I'm putting these front pieces on, and you see there's two pieces that could go on there. I chose the one with the silver top because I figured that's supposed to be like an ammunition bay or something, not sure. So same process. You carefully stick that on and you bring it forward, and it takes a while to get it. It's going to be on that little first diagonal step right by my right thumb there. And once you click it into place, it's kind of hard to get going. But once it's there, it snaps into place like that. And then I'll pull it out and then check and see if where I'll put a little more glue in there. And it works. But it's a difficult thing to actually make work. Part of it is my stuff is balsa, so might break easy. But all I do is, you can see, put some glue on there and then slide that piece right where it's supposed to go. And as usual, it doesn't go on really well when you actually put glue on it. It always goes great before when you're test fitting. So I'm struggling here a little bit to get this piece over. There, it clicked into place, just like a Wingnut Wings kit. And now I'm putting the last piece on the front, which I'm putting some glue. I have some glue already on the paper, and I'm putting some on the bulkhead, previous bulkhead. And so I am just going ahead and going to stick that last piece on the same way. And I'm not sure even why that piece is colored with, how pretty the wood is done, because it just butts up against the other bulkhead. These bulkheads are going to serve as places to put the strips. The strips are going to go on. There's 3 of them that fit the whole front piece. Now there's the very last front piece, and that's where those little white tabs fit into those white recesses. And that should be easy to do. So here's my gluing, and putting a little bit of glue on there and making sure that it fits carefully into those places. It's kind of hard to do, again, not because it's hard to figure out, but everything's got to line up. And since there's no jig or anything, that's hard to do. So now I'm using my tweezers to squeeze everything shut and get the glue moving. And this works actually really well. And once you get this on there, now you just got to make sure that everything is straight. So I'm lining up my headrest with the front, and overall it looks really, really good, very convincing, and it'll look great when it is all covered with the strips.